So in the last video about mutations, we had to reload the page after adding a to-do. So this happens when the update you're performing depends on data that's already in the cache, for example, deleting or adding items to a list, which is what we did. So the update function is something you declare on your mutation, and that's called, with the Apollo cache, the first argument, and you can do a read query or a write query, or a read fragment or a write fragment. Don't worry too much about the difference for this video. I'm just going to do read query and write query. You can learn about the more advanced ones later. So the second argument to the update function is an object with the data property containing your mutation result. Wow. Okay, so that's the to-do you added, basically. Don't get scared by the mutation result. It's the to-do we added. So that's used for optimistic results, and again with your actual results, so that you can update the page and also not have to reload the page. So you update the page before the mutation is fired to kind of like show a faster performance for your user, and then it's called again once we get the actual response, which may differ from the optimistic response in that it may have failed or something. So this update, you basically read the to-dos out of the cache. So it does a read query with get to-dos and gets the to-dos, and then it does a write query and writes back under that get to-dos key the new to-dos. So basically it's saying, like, give me the list that we got for this get to-dos, and then I'm going to update the list, and then you're going to write back that list for that get to-dos. So let's create that update. Takes in the cache and the data, and that is going to be a function. It reads to-dos out of the cache with read query, and we're going to tell it it's the get to-dos query that we're wanting to read. So it gets the results, the to-dos from that query, and then we're going to do cache.write query and tell it we're writing back the results of the get to-dos query. The data is going to be a new object, and I'll break this out here onto multiple lines, where the to-dos are going to be set to a new value that is equal to to-dos.concat, and then we concatenate on data.addToDo. So that was the to-do we added, the quote-unquote mutation result. So I'm going to throw a debugger in here because it's not working. So it's actually data.add, not data.addToDo, and it only had the ID. So we need to put the title in here so that we get back all the fields, like ID and title, when we add a to-do. And then down here we need to refer to it by the right name, the name of the mutation. So just making sure it has the ID in the title, and then it's named appropriately under data.add. So now that that's fixed, we should be able to go ahead and add a to-do. And we see it updated reactively on the page. Now it didn't clear this input, so let's go ahead and do that now. We'll use setState to clear the input back to an empty string. And then if we enter a value here, it clears the input automatically, so it's easier to add a new value. It's type of UX stuff that makes your app nicer to use. Okay, so what if we wanted to put the to-do at the top of this list? Well, we could say const updated equals a new array with the added to-do, and then spread the previous to-dos in there and set the to-dos back to updated. And it would have put it to the top of the list. So you can kind of use your Redux immutable update patterns here in the update method, although you kind of write this read query and write query rather than taking in the state and returning the state. But if you want to do this immutably, it's up to you. Read query, I believe, returns a copy of the cache, so you can kind of use like array.push and mutate the state and write it back if you don't like the immutable patterns. It's up to you. And if you read through here, you'll see there's things like read fragment and write fragment that I'm not going to cover in this video. And it's important to point out not every mutation requires an update function. If you're updating a single item, you can just ask GraphQL for the ID and title back, and it'll update it for you. It's only needed if you're like adding or deleting an item. So that's it for my update method tutorial. Thank you for watching.